Hello, my name is Graham, and in this video I'll cover the patient's journey through systems for dentists. This will cover finding a patient and booking their appointment, sending them correspondence using PADS+, arriving them in the practice, creating their course of treatment, charting their baseline, adding and completing treatment, booking their next appointment, taking payment, and departing them from the practice. We will start by finding our patient. Select the Patient button from the top menu and choose Open. Enter the patient's details and search. Identify the correct patient from the list and then double-click on them to open their record. Now that we have found our patient, we can book their appointment. I'll cover a couple of ways of achieving this. From the patient's record, select the Add Patient to Appointment Clipboard button. This takes you to the appointment screen. You can now see the patient in the clipboard. To book the patient, drag the appointment to the correct time in the book. From the Properties screen which opens, choose the appointment reason and click Add. This has automatically added both the colour and the time for the appointment type, which can be edited if required. Entering a note here will appear on this appointment. Patient Note will appear on all of the patient's appointments if the option has been selected. Click Save to confirm the appointment. You can also book the appointment by selecting the time, right-clicking, and then choosing the Book option. Search for the patient you want to book, select them, and then complete the booking in the same way we did previously. Now that their appointment is booked, before the patient comes into the practice, you can send them correspondence directly to their phone or other device. To do so, from our Open Patient record, we access the wireless signature section. We can then choose what to send to a patient. We have Details, which allows them to update their details on the system, a medical history, a custom assessment, a GDPR update, and also a payment option. I'll select what I want to send to the patient. In this case, Details, a medical, and our COVID-19 assessment. And when I'm happy with this and want to send it, I'll select Patient Portal and then Submit. In this case, I also want to send some additional documentation to the patient to sign. So I select Letters, and as we can see, I've created a letter from an existing template. The option for the patient's signature is on this template. To send this to the patient, I select the Wireless Signature button on the document editor. This has now been added to the queue in the Wireless Signature section for the patient. You can see it sitting at the top of the list. Select the Patient Portal and Submit to send these to the patient. It will now be added to the patient's correspondence. You can see the text that has been sent to the patient containing the link for them to log on to the Patient Portal. Once submitted, the patient will receive the following text. They follow the link, their forename, surname and date of birth, then sign in. From there, they'll see the forms that you have requested for them to complete. The Details lets them change any details on the system, then save. Medical History allows them to answer each of the questions from your medical history form. If they select yes to any of the answers, it will request further detail. When completed, it will provide the patient with the option to sign. They can then complete the COVID-19 assessment. The patient can also see the document that was sent across, and are able to sign that as well. Once saved, that submits their information back to your system. When the patient has completed their form in a portal and submitted them back to you, they will automatically appear on our system. A patient's details will be updated on their home screen. In the medical section, you will see an entry for the new medical with a signature and a globe. And in the full view, it will display the patient's complete medical and their signature on the screen. In the clinical notes, it will update you that the patient has completed a medical and a COVID-19 assessment. To see the assessment, go to the patient's additional options and select Assessments. From Correspondence, we can see the documents that the patient signed displayed on the screen. We are now ready for them to attend the practice. Systems for dentists will provide alerts to the surgery to inform the dentist that the patient has been marked as attended by reception. Once marked as attended, you will receive a prompt to the bottom right of the screen, which will state the patient's name and the time of their appointment. This will only remain on screen briefly, but in the top right, you will now see a little figure. This represents our patient. It is currently shown in black, which tells me that the patient has arrived before they are due in surgery. If it turns green, it means the patient has been waiting 1 minute past their appointment time. If it turns amber, it means they've been waiting 5 minutes past their appointment time. Once it turns red, it means it is now 10 minutes past the patient's appointment time. You can select the figure to show your appointment waiting list, and from here, you can choose Seen and Open to both mark the patient as in surgery and simultaneously open their record. From this open record, I will now open a new course of treatment. Select the treatment button, and on the screen that opens, choose the option for New. The correct options should be automatically selected for the logged in performer and the patient's scheme. If you want to change this, you can do so by using the drop-down menus. When the setup is correct, select Save. From the open course of treatment, I will now show you 2 ways to create the patient's baseline charting. From the Chart tab, the patient's chart is displayed at the top of the screen, and a number of options are available below the chart. This method of charting allows you to quickly change the status of a number of teeth at the same time. With the Missing button selected, I can easily select the missing teeth from the chart. To add a filling, select the Filling button, choose the appropriate material, then select the tooth. By choosing the affected surfaces and clicking OK, the filling is applied to the tooth as displayed here. The Layout button allows you to manage the status of all the teeth on the chart. Each tooth has options for unerupted, partially erupted, present, missing, retained root, and a gap closure. If you make an error, the Clear button returns the tooth to its original status. Properties lets you clear an individual treatment that has been accidentally applied to a tooth. I will select the filling we added and remove it by clicking Delete. We are also able to record base charting through the Treatment tab. From this screen, we can work tooth by tooth, applying treatment and base charting at the same time. Selecting the relevant areas of the tooth brings up a menu. Choosing a condition of sound marks the type of treatment and material selected as present in the mouth. For example, I will indicate the presence of a gold crown on the lower right fore. Right-clicking on the tooth from the chart gives you a number of options. For example, I will apply a fracture from this menu. Next, I'll show you how to apply a filling as a proposed treatment item. I will select the surfaces of the tooth I wish to add the filling to, then indicate the surfaces as carious. We can now choose an appropriate restoration. I will pick composite, which gives us a choice of products, in this case an NHS treatment item. The proposed filling is displayed in red, and at the bottom of the screen the item has been added ready to be completed and charged. When you have completed the current appointment, you are able to send the patient's next appointment to the treatment clipboard so that reception can quickly book this. As you can see, I've added an extraction to our patient's course of treatment. But I'm not going to perform this today. By clicking Add Visit, I can add an additional appointment as part of the course of treatment. By dragging the extraction item down, I have made it appear as a part of appointment 2. The items from appointment 1 are completed by selecting Completed and Charged. To send appointment 2 to the clipboard, double-click where it says appointment 2. From the panel that pops up, check the box to add the appointment to the clipboard. Then we can indicate who the appointment is with, how long it should be, the colour that will be displayed on the appointment book, and any appointment notes if required. This indicates that the appointment has been added to the clipboard. Selecting Checkout adds the cost of the treatment to the patient's record for reception. From the reception, they can see the requested appointment in the treatment clipboard. To book the appointment, they simply drag it to the selected time and date. In the treatment plan, the second visit now displays a date and time. To take a payment, open the patient's record, where you'll immediately notice the patient's current balance. If it displays in red, it shows that the patient is in debt. If it is shown in green, it shows that the patient is in credit. To record a payment, navigate to the Scales button to access the patient accounts. On this page, it will display the invoices generated from the surgery and gives us an option to add the payment. The payment screen allows us to record a cash, check, credit, or finance payment by either typing the value or selecting the scales icon to make the full payment. As a result, the total of this transaction is displayed below. We can also assign notes, and we can choose to print or email a receipt for the patient. By selecting OK, the payment will then be recorded on the patient's record. When the patient has left your practice, select their appointment, right-click and choose the option for departed. You will see an icon with a door and a green arrow appears on their appointment. This shows that the patient was seen and left the practice. Once our patient has been marked as departed, their journey is complete. Thank you for watching. You can find answers to our frequently asked questions on our website. For specific requests or technical support, don't hesitate to call.